Welcome to Aadya's videos. Yay! Hello, welcome back. You know my name, who's talking? Yeah, Aadya, your channel. So, can you guess what channel is going to go today? Guess, everyone. Guess. I can give you some time. That's right. We're going to have a story time. So, today's story is going to be The Little Red Riding Hood. She's a little small kid who we're not starting the video, who loves to wear always red dresses. And I have made a paper because I don't have a book. I have made a paper. You're going to look at the drawing on the back. I have wrote some notes. And that is a new story that I got in my brain. So I wrote some notes on the back. So you can just see the front part and I'll just read from the back. The words are very teeny tiny, but I can read them. I'm writing in cursive, Do you know? Ask your mother to help you. Take your mother's phone. Before taking, just ask. I have asked. Ask your mother that if you want to just have a story, just take her mobile, and in the camera, go to the camera and make your own video. But make everything set up. Dolls, stories, drawings, reading, story, anything it can have in your video. I have gone with also some shapes are also fine. But I have done one day before, a doll, and today, you know that. Little Red Riding Hood story time! Let's go. So this is the paper. And it says over here, Little Red Riding Hood. Now let's read. Once upon a time, there lived a little chubby and naughty girl named Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood used to always love to wear red and colorful clothes. One day, her mother told her something. Little Red Riding Hood, your grandmother is ill. Take this basket of cakes and go. Little Red Riding Hood had agreed with her mother, and before she left, her mother told, and one thing you also must remember, sweetie, don't talk to strangers on your way. Little Red Riding Hood promised to not talk to strangers and left the home. On her grandmother's way, she heard a sound during her journey. It was a wolf. Then the wolf said to Little Red Riding Hood, Little Red Riding Hood, where are you going? Then Little Red Riding Hood replied, I am going to my grandma to give this basket of cakes. Little Red Riding Hood had forgotten what her mother had told about strangers. Means Little Red Riding Hood had forgot that what her mother has told about strangers. She just talked to the stranger, and what her mother told, you remember. Does someone want to say what her mother said? Correct. Don't talk to strangers on your way. But she forgot. So let's see in the next part. The paper won't move. Don't have many pages, but the story will keep going. Let's continue. Little Red Riding Hood. When the wolf reached to her grandmother's house, Little Red's grandmother's house, before Little Red Riding Hood could reach. The wolf knocked on the door and said in the sweet and softly voice. He knocked at the door. Ding dong, tuck tuck. And Grandma said, "Who is there?" Then the wolf replied in a sweet, nice sound. "I am Little Red Riding Hood, Grandma. I have brought some sweets for you." It's kind of crazy that how the wolf could speak like Little Red Riding Hood. But this is just a story. Okay, now let's continue. So, Grandma told, "Open the latch and come here in, dear." The wolf opened the latch and came in with his big eyes, ears, and mouth. Poor Grandma got terrified, and the wolf locked Grandma in the cupboard carefully. By the time the wolf dressed up like Grandma and sat on Grandma's bed and pretended to be like he was ill and all. By the time Little Red Riding Hood reached, she told Grandma, "Can I come in?" Then the wolf replied in a sweet aquarium soft voice like this. "Open the latch and come here in, dear." It's kind of funny too. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. So, the wolf said, "Open the latch and come in, dear." Then Little Red Riding Hood opened the latch and came in. Then she said to Grandma, she went to her bedside and said, "Oh my, what big ears you have, Grandma." Then the wolf replied, "All the better to hear you, my dear." Then Little Red Riding Hood said, "Oh, Grandma, what big eyes you have." Then the wolf replied, "All the better to see you, my dear." Then finally, the last question Little Red Riding Hood asked to the wolf. Like, she didn't notice that it was the wolf. She was thinking that, it's just Grandma. But that was not true. Let's see in the next part. So, Little Red Riding Hood told the last question to the wolf. "Oh my, what big mouth you have, Grandma, and teeth, Grandma." Then the wolf replied, "All the better to eat you, my dear, and the cakes." Little Red Riding Hood was so scared and she shouted a lot. She got very afraid. The wolf laughed on her and approached too. "Ha ha ha. I came to eat you on the cakes. I hope you are ready." When Little Red Riding Hood screamed so loudly, the woodcutters in the forest heard her scream and ran to the cottage and hit the wolf with sticks. Moral of the story is never talk to strangers if your mother doesn't say, or father. Now, do you know the moral of the story? Can someone tell me again? That's right. Don't talk to strangers if your mother didn't tell you or not. I mean, if she did or not. Okay? Now, you should keep going. Make your own stories for me. I must see. Bye guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like if you love it. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.